Now, in today's read, we're going to get into passing the benefit of masculinity onto the next generation. Part 1, Snakes and Snails. As I work to raise my sons, I realize that they're growing up in a world very much like the one that created my generation of nice guys. Boys are disconnected from men and are dependent on gaining the approval of women. This was brought to me This was brought home to me a couple years back when our family moved to a new home the summer before my son Steve entered the 4th grade. When I attended his PTA open house, I was jolted with a dose of reality. In kindergarten through 5th grade, there was only one male classroom teacher in the whole school. That's about a 20 to 1 ratio. As the teachers were introduced a grade at a time, and then stood together on the gym floor, I received a visual picture of the environment in which little boys spend the most impressionable years of their lives. As a recovering nice guy, I have a unique chance to pass on a new model of masculinity, not only to my sons and daughter, but to a whole generation of boys and girls. The more time I spend working with nice guys, the more I realize that this process represents a powerful tool for giving the next generation a saner model of what it means to be men and women. Fortunately, our culture provides few rituals in which adult males help boys leave the comfort of a nursery ruled by women, home, preschool, school, and enter the world of adult manhood. Robert Bly discusses the importance of these rituals in his book Iron John. In primitive societies, Bly writes, the boys are pretty much raised by women until early adolescence. When it's time for the boys to leave the superior of female influence and move into the men's world, the men of the tribe stage a raid. They put on their war paint and enter the village and steal the boys away. The women on cue weep, they protest, and do their best to hang on to the boys. After the men have taken the boys outside of the village for their period of initiation, the women get together and ask, how did I do? Was I believable? In these cultures, the men and women work together to facilitate this process of transition and initiation. These days, boys try to make this transition from a world ruled by women, but they can't do it on their own. I have a theory. The phase that adolescent boys pass through when they dress sloppy, they look scraggly, act aggressively, hole up in their room when they slouch, play music loud, swear, or spit a lot, are all unconsciously aimed at making themselves so repulsive that even their mother can't even stand them. This helps them break the symbiotic bond with their mom. Nevertheless, these young men still need help from adult males, pulling away from their mothers without feeling guilt and shame, without overly self-destructive behavior. I believe recovering nice guys, so good men, can help boys find a saner model of what it means to be male in our culture. This is because there are certain things that boys can only learn from men. As nice guys embrace their masculinity, turn into good men, they can teach their sons what it means to be male. This includes how to handle their aggression, how to handle their libido, how to relate to women, how to bond with a man, and perhaps most importantly, how to embrace their own masculinity. Men teach these lessons both by example and by interaction with young boys. As a recovering nice guy, I also benefit from being with my adolescent sons and his friends. When I'm around my boys, I get to see unbridled manliness in action. Not only do I get to teach my sons how to handle their testosterone-related behaviors, such as aggression and sexuality, but they also show me how to embrace mine. This reciprocal process requires the time and interaction. Fathers need to take their sons hunting, fishing, working on cars with them, take them to work, coach their teams, take them to ball games, work out with them, take them on business trips, and let them tag along with them when they go out to the gym, when they go out with the guys. All of these activities help boys move successfully into the male world. This process is not just limited to a man's biological. Good men can get involved with young relatives, in scouts, in sports teams, in school activities, or as big brothers.